If you're over 60 and living in the UK, what I'm about to reveal could dramatically affect your ability to access your own money. December 15th, 2025 marked a turning point for millions of seniors across Britain. Major banks have rolled out completely new ATM withdrawal rules that could leave you stranded without cash when you need it most. This isn't fear-mongering, this is real policy affecting real people right now. Whether you're trying to pay a tradesperson, help your grandchildren, or simply manage your weekly expenses, these changes could impact you immediately. Don't click away because by the time this video ends, you'll know exactly what's changed, why banks made these decisions, who's most affected, and the critical steps you must take today to protect your financial independence. Welcome back to my channel where I bring you the most important financial updates specifically designed for people who want to stay safe, informed, and in control of their money. Today we're addressing something that affects nearly every person over 60 in the United Kingdom. Starting mid-December 2025, all major high street banks introduced unprecedented ATM withdrawal restrictions targeting older customers. These aren't minor adjustments or temporary measures. We're talking about fundamental changes to daily withdrawal limits, mandatory verification questions, fraud monitoring systems, and protocols that could prevent you from accessing large sums of your own money without advance planning. The banks insist these protections are necessary to combat the alarming rise in scams targeting seniors, but thousands of pensioners feel these rules strip away their autonomy and make them feel distrusted. If you've been banking the same way for decades, suddenly finding yourself questioned about why you need your own cash can feel deeply unsettling. That's exactly why this video matters so much. I've researched these new policies extensively, consulted banking experts, reviewed real customer experiences, and compiled everything you need to understand about these sweeping changes. We'll examine why banks implemented these restrictions now, what specific limits you'll encounter at ATMs and branches, how these rules affect joint accounts, what happens when you need larger withdrawals, and most importantly, the practical strategies you can use to maintain smooth access to your finances. Let's dive straight into what you need to know. The transformation of ATM access for older customers didn't happen randomly. Over recent years, law enforcement and banking authorities documented a disturbing surge in financial scams specifically targeting people over 60. Criminals have become increasingly sophisticated, using psychological manipulation tactics to convince pensioners to withdraw and hand over substantial amounts of cash. These aren't isolated incidents. They represent a nationwide crisis that's cost vulnerable seniors millions of pounds collectively. The scam patterns follow predictable templates. A fraudster poses as a bank official, police officer, or government representative. They contact the victim claiming there's an urgent security issue with their account, or that they're part of an investigation. The criminal creates intense pressure and urgency, instructing the person to immediately withdraw large cash sums and transfer them to a courier or supposed safe account. By the time victims realize they've been deceived, their life savings have vanished. Banks and financial regulators concluded that traditional security measures weren't adequate protection against these evolving threats. The self-service nature of ATMs, combined with minimal oversight on branch withdrawals, created vulnerabilities that criminals ruthlessly exploited. Financial institutions faced mounting pressure from consumer protection agencies, government officials, and advocacy groups to implement stronger safeguards specifically for their most vulnerable customers. The result is this comprehensive policy shift. Banks emphasize these measures are protective rather than punitive. Their goal isn't restricting legitimate access, but creating checkpoints that interrupt scam attempts before irreversible damage occurs. For many seniors who've managed cash independently for their entire adult lives, however, this protection feels paternalistic and intrusive. At the core of these regulations are revised daily ATM withdrawal limits, specifically for customers aged 60 and above. Previously, many banks allowed seniors to withdraw $500 to $1,000 daily without additional scrutiny, depending on account type and individual banking history. Under the new framework, most major institutions have reduced these limits to approximately $300 to $500 per day for this age group. For routine daily expenses like groceries, local shop purchases, small service payments, or giving pocket money to grandchildren, these limits generally prove sufficient. The restrictions become noticeable when you attempt larger withdrawals, particularly amounts that exceed your typical transaction patterns. Banks now employ sophisticated fraud detection algorithms that continuously analyze customer behavior. If the system identifies an unusually large withdrawal request that deviates significantly from your established patterns, it automatically triggers additional verification protocols. These verification measures vary by institution, but typically include immediate text message confirmations, automated phone alerts requiring acknowledgement, or direct calls from fraud prevention teams asking you to verify the transaction is legitimate. While these interruptions may feel inconvenient, banking officials argue they've successfully prevented numerous scam attempts by creating brief pauses that allow customers to reconsider suspicious requests. The limits aren't universally identical across all banks. Each institution sets its own thresholds based on internal risk assessments and customer demographics. Some banks maintain slightly higher limits for long-standing customers with consistently responsible banking histories. Others apply stricter controls uniformly across all seniors regardless of individual circumstances. This variation means you absolutely must contact your specific bank to understand exactly what limits apply to your accounts. While ATM limits create one layer of protection, in-branch cash withdrawal procedures have undergone equally significant changes. You can still obtain thousands of pounds from your account if genuinely needed, but banks now require additional verification steps before releasing substantial cash amounts to customers over 60. Bank staff members are now trained and obligated to ask questions about large withdrawal purposes. This isn't meant as accusatory interrogation, it's part of the institution's legal duty to protect vulnerable customers from financial exploitation. Employees might inquire why you need the money, how you plan to use it, whether anyone instructed you to make the withdrawal, and if you've received any unusual phone calls or pressure recently. These conversations serve crucial protective functions. If someone contacts you claiming to be from your bank, insisting you withdraw your savings and hand cash to a courier, branch staff questioning can expose the scam before you lose money. Bank employees are specifically trained to recognize red flags indicating potential fraud and can intervene when they suspect a customer is being manipulated. In some situations, staff may request photographic identification verification or ask you to return after a brief cooling-off period, typically 24 to 48 hours. This delay isn't denying access to your funds. It's providing time for you to reconsider the withdrawal away from any immediate pressure, consult with trusted family members, or verify that any instructions you received are legitimate. These new regulations primarily target personal accounts held by individuals over 60. Business accounts operate under different frameworks with their own security protocols and withdrawal procedures. In practical terms, if you're over 60 and hold a personal current account or savings account with cash access capabilities, you'll be subject to these new limitations. Joint accounts present interesting complications. If either account holder has reached age 60, banks typically apply the senior protection protocols to the entire account. This means both account holders, regardless of the younger person's age, may encounter the same withdrawal restrictions and verification requirements. This sometimes surprises couples who didn't anticipate that one person's age would affect both parties' banking access. For people managing finances collaboratively with partners, this represents an important consideration worth clarifying directly with your banking institution. Understanding exactly how your specific accounts are classified under these new rules prevents unexpected surprises when you attempt cash withdrawals. If circumstances require withdrawing more cash than your daily ATM limit permits, several sensible approaches can streamline the process. The most effective strategy involves advanced planning and direct communication with your bank. Most institutions allow you to arrange larger cash withdrawals by calling customer service or visiting your branch ahead of time. During this pre-arrangement, you'll likely be asked to explain your withdrawal purpose. Once you've provided a reasonable explanation, such as paying for home repairs, covering a family event, or settling a large purchase, banks can temporarily increase your limit or set aside the requested cash for scheduled collection. This advance notice transforms what might otherwise be a frustrating denial into a smooth, planned transaction. Alternative payment methods also deserve consideration. Bank transfers, payment apps, debit card transactions, and other digital tools often provide more convenient, secure options than carrying large cash amounts. These methods create clear transaction records, reduce theft risk, and eliminate the need to visit ATMs or branches for substantial payments. While many seniors prefer traditional cash for its tangibility and simplicity, even cash-oriented individuals increasingly use electronic transfers for significant payments to tradespeople or bill settlements. Understanding these new rules represents just the first step. Proactive measures ensure you maintain smooth financial access while benefiting from fraud protections. Start by verifying your current withdrawal limits directly with your bank through their app, phone service, or branch visit. If the standard limit seems inadequate for your legitimate needs, discuss adjustment options with customer service representatives. Keeping your contact information current is absolutely essential. When banks detect suspicious activity and need to reach you quickly, having your correct phone number and email address prevents delays that could freeze your access unnecessarily. Some institutions now offer trusted contact registration, allowing you to designate a family member or close friend the bank can contact if they have transaction concerns. This additional layer can provide reassurance while maintaining your independence. For everyday routine spending like groceries, local purchases, or small service payments, these new rules typically won't create noticeable disruptions. The restrictions primarily target unusually large or atypical withdrawals. If you're taking out $100 to $150 for weekly expenses, the process should remain as straightforward as always. The new ATM and cash withdrawal rules for UK seniors beginning December 15, 2025, represent the most significant shift in banking access policies in recent memory. These changes reflect the harsh reality of escalating financial fraud, targeting older adults, and banks' legal responsibilities to protect vulnerable customers. While the regulations require adjustments in how you plan larger cash withdrawals, everyday access to reasonable amounts remains readily available. The fundamental objective is straightforward: keeping your hard-earned money safe, preventing devastating scam losses, and providing confidence that your bank actively monitors for suspicious activity on your behalf. I genuinely hope this comprehensive breakdown has given you the clarity and confidence to navigate these new banking regulations successfully. Knowledge truly is your strongest defense against both scams and unnecessary confusion. These rules are already in effect, so understanding them now puts you in control rather than leaving you surprised and frustrated at the ATM. If this information helped you, please hit that like button right now. It helps this vital content reach more seniors who desperately need these updates. Subscribe to this channel and click the notification bell because I'm constantly monitoring changes to pension rules, banking policies, benefits updates, and everything else affecting people over 60 in the UK. Leave a comment telling me if you've already experienced these new ATM rules and how your bank handled it. Your experiences help other viewers understand what to expect. Share this video immediately with every friend, family member, and neighbor over 60 that you know. Someone you care about could be planning a large cash withdrawal without knowing these rules exist, and you could save them significant stress or even protect them from a scam attempt. Remember, these regulations aren't designed to make your life harder. They're meant to keep you safer in an increasingly dangerous financial landscape. Stay informed, plan ahead when you need larger amounts, keep your bank's contact details handy, and never hesitate to ask questions when something doesn't feel right. Thank you so much for watching and trusting me to keep you informed. I'll see you in the next video where we continue covering the most important updates for your financial security and independence. Stay safe with your money, everyone.